Hi, it's Dawn Lewis here, and I want to welcome you to Creative Fabrica fans, and thank you so much for subscribing. I really appreciate it. This is our first tutorial, and I'm going to show you how to make a very cool bookmark using files and fonts that you've found that are your favorites in Creative Fabrica. Today, let's look at my favorites and the ones I'm going to use. Starting here with one of my favorite stores, Poppy Moon Design, highly recommend, with the Tropicana clip art set. I'm also going to dip into the Tropicana digital paper set, and today for a font we're going to use this one called Stay Home. I know, I've been using it a lot lately. Stay Home, beautiful font, we're going to use that as well. We're using free online photo editing software today, and it's pixlr.com. I'll link to that for you. There are a couple of choices, there's Pixlr X and Pixlr E, and we're going to use Pixlr E today for our tutorials. Now you can watch along and reuse this tutorial whenever you want to make a bookmark. Our bookmark is going to be 2 by 6 inches, and to start on the left we're going to click Create New. Now you've had a sneak peek because I did play around with this earlier, but I'm going to show you how to set it up from scratch. For starters, let's give this a name. We're going to call it Bookmark Front Poppy Moon. Okay, and for the width, because we want it to be 6 inches, we need that to be 600. Don't ask me why, I'm not entirely sure, but it's in pixels. And for our height, we want 1800. So this is going to be our equivalent of 2 by 6 inches. We do want to have a background. I'm going to choose white. It doesn't really matter what color. And create. And here we have our blank bookmark front. There are a few things that we want to do, and the first thing is to put down a background color. Now normally here over on the left where your toolbar is, this top circle would be white. And in fact, just for the purposes of showing you how you're going to do this from scratch, we'll make it white. So you have black and white. But I want to put down a color that's going to coordinate with this. So we are going to open by clicking File, Open Image, and you need to navigate or browse to where you keep your digital papers and your digital clip art. I keep the whole Tropicana kit in one file. I'm going to choose this paper. You don't have to use the papers, but you could use something from your clip art. You can either double click the paper or click and then open. It defaults to full HD, that works well. Click Apply, and now your paper is open. We're going to use this tool. It's an eyedropper tool called the picker because it picks the color for you, and you see everywhere the cursor goes, it picks up a color. I'm going to click on the yellow, and now this is yellow. I don't need this anymore. It was purely to choose a color from, but I want a paler version of this color. Yes, it does show me shades up the top, but I want to custom choose. So you see here on the color picker, if I click on this white circle and move it around, it gives me alternatives. So I'm pulling it to the left to get kind of a nice pastel sherbet rather than this. So this shows you your original color, and this is where it is now. I like this very much. You can see here the hex code I'm using is hashtag F9DAA9. So you can use that one. You can literally just type it in. Click OK, and now we have this buttery yellow. So let's put down our background. There are a few ways that you can do this. Today, let's use the brush tool called the draw tool, and you'll notice an ad has popped up at the bottom. That's because we're using free online photo editing software. So we'll just click that away. Up the top here where the brush says 40, that's a little brush. We want a bigger brush. So we're going to slide that up to around the 350 mark. Click on the black area, and now you can see how big that brush is. Simply click and drag left and right, up and down, and you color in your entire background. Make sure you've got all the corners, it's all colored in, and that is our background. Now let's add some clip art. Click File, Open Image, and we're going to choose the monkey. Double click, and here is our cute little monkey. Now if you are on a PC, I want you to hit Control A, and that will select the area, then Control C to copy. I'm today using a Mac, so I'll hit Command C, and now it is copied, and we don't need this monkey anymore, so we can close that file by clicking the little X in the top there. Time to paste, Control V or Command V, and we have our monkey But as you can see, the size is not particularly correct. So let's resize that with this tool at the very top left of our toolbar called the Arrange tool. I like to call it the Move tool. This is going to move it all around, and you see you've got blue lines and little white squares. I want you to click on one of the white squares in a corner and drag downwards, and that's going to make it smaller. I'm going to repeat on the other side so that the monkey will fit. Now you can move it all around. You see when I get it centered, that pink line pops up down in the center. If I wanted it completely centered, I would move it until I get a proper crosshairs, but I want the monkey down the bottom. One thing to note when you are adding text or clip art, if you don't want it to be cut off, leave a gap around the edges, because when you print photos, which is what we're going to do to finish this project, a bit of the area is going to chop off. So we don't want to go too close to the edge. Let's add another clip art piece. File, open image, and we'll choose the sun. This time I'm clicking and then clicking open, and we're going to copy it. So PC, Control A, then Control C, Max, Command C. We don't need that anymore. So we're going to click the little X here on the Tropicana Clip Art 06 PNG and close that. PNG files are fantastic. They have no background, so it's only the actual image. Time to Control V or Command V. Click and drag the corner downward and click and drag another corner so that we have the sun. I'm going to pop that up here in the corner so that some of the rays are cut off. You can put it to the left, to the right, whatever you prefer. Now, let's talk about that cool Stay Home font and how we add that here. We are going to put in some text, and we need this text tool, which is a T. I'm going to click away the add. Sometimes it interferes with what you're doing. So to use that, we click the T and then we just click anywhere on the screen, and it says, do you want to add a new text layer? We do. So click add, and it will automatically fill in with this lorem ipsum, your text here. So let's type in just return one, return more, return page. It's little, but bear with me. There's a couple of things we need to do. Right now up in the top bar, that's giving you all the information about our text. And this here, the fill, it tells me that our text is the same color as our background. So when I click on that, you can see my text disappears. But what I want to do is change the color. I could go with black, but I feel it's a little boring. So I'm going to click this eyedropper tool and put the square there, the plus sign, over various things and see which color do I want. I think I'm going to go with the reddish color that's in the monkey's ears and on his belly. So I'm just going to click on that, and now you can see that's our color. So now our text is that color. Let's talk font type. I've already installed Stay Home here, but when you're using Pixlr for the first time, it's going to default to Arial. So the way that you get your font over here onto Pixlr is click on font, come down here to the green button that says add local font, and you can find any font that's on your computer. This is how it's working on a Mac. So I'm going to go to my downloads. This is where I keep all of my cute little files. There is my Stay Home. Simply click on that, click open, and it will add your font right up the top here. So that's fantastic. And I'm going to click on Stay Home, and you can see we're up to another problem here. This font is too small. So while the box is highlighted, I'm going to click here on the size and drag this up so that it sizes up. I think that's a nice size. Then click onto the box once and it gives you this directional arrow, and then we can click to move it. I still feel like that's a little bit too big, so I might just click on that, double click to highlight the size and make it 270. Oh, that's a little better. Click on the box and move this cursor and you'll get that move thing again, and there we go. We've got our words all in the front. So that's it. We're done. This is our bookmark front. I thought I'd keep it really simple. We might do one with layers in a future tutorial. But now let's do, it's a double-sided bookmark. Let's do the back. File, new image, and it's going to automatically want to be called the same, but we want to change it to bookmark back Poppy Moon. Same width, 600, same height, 1800, same background, white, and click create. Now we have a back. Here's our front and here's our back. We're going to give it the same background. So we're going to click on the drawer, the paintbrush, get rid of that add, and the same background color is selected there in our toolbar. So fill that in, and now let's put another piece of clip art by clicking File, Open Image. We'll go back. Oh no, that's where I am. Where's my Tropicana file? There it is. And let's choose this cool palm tree. All right, if you are on a PC, Control A to select it, Control C to copy it. An alternative is to use your marquee selection tool, and you can actually click and drag to copy to select the area. Then you can Control C or Command C to copy, and we don't need that now, so I can close that. And then paste with a Control V or a Command V. Click onto your Arrange or your Move tool, and we're again going to shrink that down a little bit, make it a bit smaller. Nice little palm tree, which will pop around about there. And it's time to add some text. Back to our text tool, the T, click onto here, click Add, and it's coming up at the exact same size, everything that we used last time. This time I'm going to put in my website, www.dawnlewis.com.au. If you're wondering if that's a real website, yes it is. Now we need to change color because we don't want it the same color as our background. Click on the fill. I'm going to make this one black, so thankfully there's just some automated boxes at the bottom. Alternatively, I just click in that very bottom right hand corner, and that's our black text. Now we need to change the size as well. So we're going to click on here, and I'm going to slide the slider down. You can see the blue box is where I want it. I just need the text to fit inside the blue box. So let's click on that once, click on it twice to move it, and you'll see I've left a gap left, right, and below so that it's not cut off in the printing process. Next, I think we're going to personalize it a little bit more. You see, sometimes you might want to sell these or donate to the Mother's Day stall, or, give them as gifts. So let's click again with the text tool, click Add, and type in Handmade by Dawn Lewis. Obviously you would put your name there. We're not going to put my name there. I'm also going to change the color. I'm going to use that color picker tool again, and I'm going to pick the same color as the coconuts for my text, just a little different. I also do want to make that text bigger. So again, I'm going to click on the size, slide that up a little bit. Oh, that's a bit much. There we go. That looks pretty good. Click once, click twice to get my move tool and bring that down here. So I have got this custom backer. So here is the front and here is the back. Now it's time for us to create a third document, and this is where it all comes together so we can actually get this printed and turn it into a physical bookmark that you can hold in your hand. Click File, New Image, and this is going to be Bookmark Printable Poppy Moon. We're going to change the width because we want it to be a 6x4 photo. So instead of 600, we're going to switch that to 1200 by 1800. Give it a white background, click Create, and here is our photo-sized document. We need to move both our front and back onto this so that we can put this in for printing. So let's go to our bookmark front. You'll see over here on the right, we haven't looked at that before, but here we have layers, our text, our sun, our monkey, and our background. We can't send it to print with all those layers. So what we need to do is click up the top here, Layer, Flatten Image, and now it's just one image. We're going to do the same for the background, the back of the bookmark, Layer, Flatten Image, and now that's all one layer as well. So it's time again to copy and paste. So Control A, Control C, or Command C to copy. Go over to your printable document and Control V or Command V to paste that in, and that is in place. Oops, didn't mean to do that. I need to be on my Move tool, my Arrange tool. Close that Add. So you can see that this is well tucked into the corner and it fits perfectly. Now for our backer, we need to copy this, same method again. I've hit Command or Control C, now Command or Control V, and we're just going to slide that with our Move tool, Range tool, over to the right. And that's it. That's our finished piece. But we have layers, so once again, Layer, Flatten Image, and we're done. It is time to save our documents. So we're going to go File, Save, and it's called Bookmark Printable. We want it to be a JPEG, high resolution, download. Now, because we're using free software, you're going to have to wait 7 seconds. You'll get a little ad over on the left, and then we can close that. It would also be a good idea to save your front and back, so you can go File, Save. That's the name, JPEG, high resolution, download. Wait for your ad. You can see them downloading at the bottom there. And then the same for our bookmark back, File, Save. That's a name, JPEG, high resolution, download. These will go to your download folder or wherever you send downloads on your computer. That is where you'll find them. And now it is time for us to work with this 6x4 image. Now, there's a couple of things you can do. You can put it onto a thumb drive and take it to your local photo place and have prints made. Or you can do what I do and upload it to my favorite photo printing place and have it printed. So I tend to do that of an evening, and then the next morning it's usually ready for me to pick up. So that saved me quite a bit of time. I can just walk in, pick up my order and bring it home. I did this one and I did 4 other designs, so you'll see them in the end of this video as well. Now it's time for us to get a little hands-on with our printed image of this particular design. Now here we have the 6x4 photo that I had printed at my local Officeworks store. It's a nice glossy finish. You don't want matte because that will create a texture when it has been laminated. I'm using a trimmer and I highly recommend a trimmer over scissors. I've lined it up to the 2-inch line and I'm cutting it. Now you can use any kind of trimmer. If you're not sure what type you should use, I have a whole podcast episode on that. I'll see if I can link to that somewhere for you. I do recommend a glue stick over double-sided tape, and you don't have to put glue all over it, just a couple of lines so that one side's going to stick to the other. If you use double-sided tape, it's going to show, the texture of the tape will show when you run it through the laminator. Make sure that both pieces are the same side up. We don't want one upside down, and just put them together, matching up the sides, press it down. It doesn't have to be super glued. It just needs to stay together so it goes in the laminating pouch. If you've mistrimmed, you can always trim it up again. This is a section of laminating pouch. I did do some examples beforehand that I'd made with other sets. I'll add photos into this post so that you can see them. They can be a bit tricky to open up, but I left the folded section in so that I could just run this one through the laminating machine. It's been heating up while I was doing my trimming, and in fast motion you can see it go through here, and this is our finished laminated piece. Now it's time to take it back to a trimmer. You could use scissors here or any other kind of trimmer, and make sure you don't trim exactly on the edge. You need to leave a border of the laminate all the way around. When you laminate a bookmark, especially double layer like this, essentially it's 2 photos together, it's not going to fuse exactly up to the edge. There will be a little air gap, so you need to make sure that you cut past that. Otherwise the whole thing's just going to fall apart. So another trick is to take some fine scissors and round the corners, because pointy laminate corners are very, very, very sharp. For this one, I'm going to punch a hole. This isn't a regular hole punch, it's kind of a slot punch, and I prefer to turn it upside down and line up the hole so I can see exactly what I'm punching through when I see it on the back. So a quick punch, we're going to put that hole in there, and here you can add a tassel, you could add some ribbon. I've chosen to add some fibres. I have a ridiculous amount of these in my old scrapbooking stash, and I thought this one matched the colours really nicely. So I've trimmed off a section a little longer than I want it. It's folded in half, and we're going to thread that fold section, that little halfway curve through from the back of the bookmark to the front of the bookmark, and through that loop I'm going to grab the tails, pull them through, and now we have our tassel. I may trim that down to be a bit shorter later on. And here are the other examples that I made using some other fun things I got on Creative Fabrica. I'll put up photos so you've got a better look at those. But in essence, here we go. This is our finished bookmark. Now, if you make one of these, I would really love to see it. I hope you'll share pictures with me, and I'm really looking forward to bringing you a fresh tutorial next month. Thank you so much for joining me. Bye for now.